Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another review video, which I didn't think I was gonna make one that quickly after the last one, the LR Bags video, but here we are. Today I'm gonna test one of those tiny little wireless systems for guitar or bass or basically any instrument with an input jack, because I'm lucky enough to get sent this by Lekato and I'm gonna test this today. So we're gonna find out if this is any good. We're gonna test this on a bunch of stuff actually. You can see I got something ready here because I've actually seen a lot of videos testing those with electric guitars or electric bass, but I'm really curious about what they do for acoustic instruments. So we're going to test acoustic guitar, we're going to test mandolin and violin today, because those are the three instruments that I use the most on a day-to-day basis. So I'm very curious to see if this works for acoustic instruments like this. But let's see what's in the box. Let's see. Okay, we got a little manual, which I'm not gonna read, let's be honest. I'm just gonna try it out. Then we got the main box and a charging cable. And now we're gonna take a look at the main box. So this says Lekato Wireless System. And then right here we got the charging plug where you put the cable, obviously. And inside the box we got a transmitter, which folds out like this. So you got the plug over here and we got the receiver. Those two basically make the wireless system. So you take the transmitter and put it into your instrument, and you take the receiver and put it into your mixer or audio interface or wherever you want the signal to go. And the box itself is a special thing because most of those little wireless systems just come like this without the charging box. And I thought this was very smart because you can put those in and they charge automatically with the box. That's one thing that I thought was quite special and why I wanted to try this one out. Now, another special thing about those is that we not only got the usual audio plug, the 6.3mm one, but we can unscrew this and now we have the mini jack. Now I can't think of a use for this right now, but I'm sure it could come in handy for some people, or it's just a nice to have thing, you know. And you can unscrew those on both of them, so receiver and transmitter do have the mini jack. So now for some specs on these. I'm just gonna read to you what the box says first. So these have a latency or delay of 6.7 milliseconds, which I think is pretty good. We got a transmission distance of 30 meters, which equals about 100 feet, which means you can separate transmitter and receiver on a distance of 30 meters or 100 feet, and they should, in theory, still work. Now, it doesn't say it on the box, but I read online that those have a battery life of 6 hours, so you should be able to play with them for 6 hours without them running out of battery. I am gonna say, though, I'm quite skeptical of that. 6 hours is a lot of time, and those things are tiny with tiny batteries in them. So I'd be happy if they run for 3 hours or maybe 4. That'd be awesome. I'm gonna test this out, maybe not in this video today, but I'm gonna update you on the battery life in the comments. So if this video is a little bit older, there should be a comment by now telling you about the battery life. Yeah, as I said, I'd be happy if they run for 3 hours. But also, you're able to recharge them. So if you play a show and you have a break in between, you could potentially put them back in the box. It says that the box is able to recharge them fully at least once. So if you have a break that's long enough, you should be able to recharge them fully and play again for 6 hours or however long they last. Also important to know is that this wireless system operates on a 2.4 gigahertz frequency, which is the most common one for those wireless systems. There are a few that operate on 5.8 gigahertz, which is actually a little less prone to interference than those ones. You know, just be sure if you want to use them in a live setting to always pack a cable just in case. In most environments, I think you should be technically fine with those. Alright, now for the most interesting part of the video, I think. Let's test them out. I'm gonna put those on, and you should be able to see a green light. That means they're connected. Now I'm gonna put the transmitter into my acoustic guitar. And I'm gonna put the receiver right into my audio interface so you can see what it sounds like via a direct input. Alright, green light, which means it should work. Now I'm gonna give you a sound example and a comparison between this wireless system and a usual cable so that we can see if there's any sound quality difference between those two. I'm actually very curious to find out myself, so let's get into it. Alright, I'm pretty impressed that it works with the mandolin as well. That's pretty cool. So in this case, actually, I have a use for the mini plug, because as you see, I have an adapter here. Very professionally, actually. I got an adapter of a 3.5mm plug to a 6.3mm plug, which I could actually use just a mini plug on this one without the two adapters, but you know, still works with this kind of setup. But now we're going to try out the violin. And for the violin, I actually got to say, a couple years ago, I ordered 2 of those wireless systems from another company, I think. I don't remember which one it was. I was trying to see if I could use them on a violin, and actually both of them didn't work out. I had a very unpleasant interference noise with both of them, so we'll see about that. So let's try with the violin. Let's try the usual cable first, so just so you know how it's supposed to sound. The cable works, I'm not surprised by that. But let's try the wireless system. So that's the receiver, goes in. Let's see about that. Let's turn it on. I can hear something. That's not a good sign. Yeah. Okay. Alright, well, you can see if I put this close to the violin or to the battery, it has a very unpleasant noise. If I put it away like this, it's actually, I can't tell if it's actually gone or if it's just very, very quiet. But I think I could work with that. Sure looks a little funny. Yeah, so I think, well, this is, I have a shadow pickup on the violin, which is a active pickup that uses a little battery up here. And I think that's what makes the interference, because if I put it to the metal or to the battery, it kind of gets worse. If I stick it out like that, it's kind of gone, I think. I mean, the guitar has an active pickup as well, but the battery and all of the stuff is kind of very far away from the input jack, and because the input jack is right next to all of the technical stuff right here, I think that's what makes the interference. But I think I could work with that, or I could get an extension cable and put the transmitter like back here on the shoulder rest or something. That should solve the problem, actually. I'm gonna get one of those and update you in the comment as well on this one. But let's see how it sounds. I think that should have worked out. Now I'm going to listen back to all of those and come back to you with a little conclusion of what I think of this wireless system by Lekato. Alright, so now for the conclusion. I just listened back to the sound examples, and I think there is just a slight slight difference that I can tell, which is I think the wireless system has a little bit more of the higher frequencies in it, which I think should be easily adjustable with an EQ if you don't like those. But other than that, I just really can't tell the difference, to be honest. And I'm quite impressed with that, actually. I'm quite impressed with this little wireless system that Lekato builds, especially for the price point. I think this wireless system is about $50 in the US and about 60 euros for me, or for Europe, I guess. And I think you just can't go wrong with it for that price. So I'm very impressed, and I'm gonna try and use this a lot over the next few days. And I'm really curious to try this out live, because that's what matters most to me, if it's usable in a live setting, in a show, because that will be a huge thing for me if I don't have to be tied to the cable all the time. So I'm gonna try this in a live setting. Maybe I'm gonna make another video about it, but I'm for sure gonna update you in the comments below. If you wanna let me know what you think about the sound examples and the sound quality of this thing in the comments, please feel free to do so. And other than that, I'm just gonna say thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.